Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Let me, ask you some questions.
Yeah, no,
I got, to admit, Sue, Carl Brewstaff, and Michael. President Dowling.
Present.
Vice President Bell. Here. Treasurer Thompson. Here. Director Pruitt. Here. Director Foster.
Here.
All right. Then. Adjustment to the agenda within its categories. I think we're gonna leave everything alone tonight, like it said. Now it's time for public comment. Members of the public may provide comments to the board on items that are not on the agenda. We welcome and encourage your comments as the board takes them into considerations in our deliberations. Speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. The board may not respond to or discuss, engage in any type of dialogue regarding any public comment. However, the president may direct questions to staff for later response or future consideration by the board. Appropriate and respectful language and behavior is vital to the functioning of a public meeting. We ask the board, staff, and members of the public to speak courteously and respectfully. Therefore, the board prohibits disruptive behavior. Any public comment? No, anything on the? Oh, on the owl?
No hands raised.
Who?
No. Hands raised.
All right.
Now, Kelly Telford is admitting. Kelly Telford is with, partner with LSL.
Yeah. All right, and then next is consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are routine in nature and may be approved by one motion. And
I'd like to separate the minutes.
separate the minutes, and I actually like to. Oh, okay, because the agenda, so we'll pull that out. So, what do you have with the minutes?
Okay, so, under policy 5060.13 and 5060.22, our policy, our RFPUD policy states, quote, the following information shall be included in each meeting, a summary record of public comment. Sue Kiesling spoke under public comment at the last meeting. Her comment, what it states in the minutes, it says she commented on her thoughts regarding hiring a finance manager. But the question is, what were her thoughts? It's not been recorded. It is our job as board members to take public comments under consideration. This board has discussed this in the past, and I will repeat my position. The minutes need to reflect in more detail the public's comments. In Sue's case, she argued that it was cheaper, or I wouldn't say she argued, but she commented that it was cheaper to hire an in-house finance manager. And then later on, she commented again regarding Chase's new policy where she opposed it. But the minutes failed to reflect her position. Failing to record the minutes with accurate information fails the transparency test. Therefore, I will not approve the minutes. That's all I have.
Okay, I'd like to come back. Okay, let's not get this into a big commenting thing though.
I agree. I do see that 5060 says summary record of public comment regarding matters not on the agenda.
Well,
So wait, I looked for the rest of it to see if there was any other comment in here under things for public comment. And I don't see anything. This is 5060.22. Now, you did include something that public comment was offered. You said that it doesn't capture their thoughts. I'm sorry, we have no way of capturing their thoughts. That's something that they have. That's a personal item to them. Most we could copy is some of they say. So I disagree with your position.
So,
We discussed this in the past. We agreed that we were supposed to put in the minutes what the person said, more information. We agreed to that a year ago.
with that said,
In condensed form.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course.
with that said. Um. I'll make a motion to approve January 14, 2026 regular board meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Public comment? Yes, Ann?
If you have a question about if you are that curious to know what the public comment is, couldn't you just go on the website and watch the video?
In our.
But that one, we're not, that's just supposed to be a comment, it's not supposed to be a question and answer.
Okay.
Okay, so you can just go on the website and watch the video if you're so curious as to what the public comment actually was.
You missed the point. You
Thanks,
missed-
that's, we're not, it's not back and
missed the
forth.
point.
Thanks for the comment. Any other comment? No, coming back? All in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Motion approved. Moving on.
Oh,
Did you
can I-
get, oh, any opposed, sorry. I didn't-
No, but can I make a comment about the disbursement too? This is not about the minutes.
No, let's get that through in later. Yeah, let's. We're just doing this piece here.
Yeah,
Three aye, and I didn't hear two votes.
And
no,
Ron,
the minutes.
no. I kind of watched that a little bit, but
That was my fault.
that's. And then receive and file combined financial reports for December 2025. I'll make a motion to receive and file combined financial reports for December 2025.
I'll second.
We don't actually have to go out to public comment for that, do we? This is just simple,
It's
yeah,
supposed to be a consent agenda.
yeah, it doesn't. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
That's 5-0.
5-0.
Then can I make my?
No opposed.
It's just a
Board,
short one.
board member comments, can we wait till that section? At the end?
Well, it's about
Which one is it?
the disbursement that is in the stuff that we.
For the financial report?
Yeah,
Oh.
no, the stuff that we just approved for, the agenda. I mean, yeah, for the agenda disbursement. Disbursement was part of that, and we just approved.
For the minutes?
They're not the minutes, the agenda and all of the stuff.
That's just the consent agenda. Because the agenda wasn't on the consent. For the approval of.
Okay, so I guess I don't know where I'm supposed to, I just wanna make it, I just wanna ask.
So, go ahead. So, just so.
Okay, so-
Go ahead, yeah,
I
just.
just want to ask, Hank, about the, I noticed that the Amazon business, is new. And I wanted to know, what kind of supplies, it says that we order supplies off them. I just was curious to know what kind of supplies do we order from that account?
Office supplies generally,
But like specifically,
Staples,
oh, you mean like we could order from Staples, for example?
order from Staples as well.
Let's, on the, if it's more stuff like that, let's do that in the general manager's report and ask questions there for that.
That's all I have.
Okay, so moving right along. Operation action items. Item number 1, approved proposal from Verdantis Engineering to provide professional services for design of a portable water welded steel storage tank to replace existing bolted steel tank in an amount not to exceed $250,000. Recommended action, approve proposal and authorize general manager to execute appropriate agreement for design of a welded steel storage tank. Okay,
So the 3 of the existing 4 tanks are quite aged. They're 1980s era bolted steel tanks. They were surplus military tanks. They've outlived their useful lifespan. We've been talking about this for a number of years. So in 2017, 2018, we constructed 1 replacement tank, 1 million gallons. That is in service and providing good service to the community. That asset was paid for through a water transfer, and so it didn't directly hit customers' invoicing. We've been looking at these tanks, they're leaking, we've done the best maintenance we can, it's time to replace them. So mid last year, I secured a grant to do a siting study. That siting study was done by Verdantis. Verdantis previously was called Peterson Brewstad. And by the way, Carl Brewstad, who is a principal with Peterson Brewstad and now Verdantis, is on the line if you have any questions. They did a siting study. They looked at 5 different sites. They looked at the size of the tank, the selected spot, the best location for a replacement tank for the 3 tanks is at the treatment plant. Now's the time where we would go into engineering. So the engineer will design the tank, prepare the bid documents. The construction of the tank is a public works project that will go out to bid. The lowest responsive bidder will be selected. That'll be brought back to this board for approval. You can reject all proposals or you can select the lowest responsive bidder. I'm recommending we move forward with Verdantis. This is in their bailiwick. This is what they do. Carl can probably comment on how many tanks they've designed over the last, say, 10 years. They're very successful at this. We did our last tank with Peterson Rustad Verdantis. Change orders, I think, were less than 1%. That's a sign of an excellent engineering job. They lay things out, they do it well. They're a great firm for this and will give the district and this community the best bang for their buck. So the next step is, if we want to replace those tanks, we start the engineering. Engineering will take about 6 months. And when that's complete, we'll release those bid documents out. Different construction firms, depending on their experience and so on and so forth, will bid. Then we'll review those bids and bring back the board in consideration for construction of a tank.
Roger, have a question? Mark?
Oh, no, as I look through this, this looks really good. Thanks.
Ron?
Yes, I do. I do see big things. Exhausting research with the state and Placer County. There is no requirement, no law that says we have to have stored potable water. There is no law. This is being done not against the law, but it's unnecessary because that's a lot of money to spend. And we have 3 depths now with uncross tank. Measure them well, almost $1,000. And we have other debts. I don't think at this time it's a good thing to do. I tried yesterday. I called up Diane and I said that I was going to stop by the office, then go up to the plant. And I wanted to see the SCADA stuff. And I wanted to look at the tanks because it's going to be in this meeting. I was denied access. We stood at that gate for 35 minutes. I called Hank. He said he would call me back. He never did all day. So we decided after 35 minutes to go back to the office. When we drove up to the office, there was nobody behind us the whole way. One of our trucks pulled up, stopped, and went inside. And I got the seatbelt off and I went inside too. And I told them that yes, we wanted to go in there to see the SCAD. She doesn't know what they're talking about. She's never even seen the tanks. She was denied the tour when you're first elected. I had one.
Well, no, I was offered.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I was. Hank
But
was offered.
anyway, we were denied access. And I want to remind this board and the public owns this, all of it. And they voted in Placer County, the state of California, a legal vote to elect us. Now we are to manage this and be denied the chance to look at the things we're going to commit money to is wrong. When this gentleman that went into the office, he said, well, we can't let you in because we're doing chlorine work. Well, he didn't come from the plant. He just drove up because nobody followed us and he pulled in before we did. I mean, it's almost the same instant. So I don't believe that chlorine story. And I told him that, okay, that's fine, I'll stay out of the building, but we're gonna go look at things. No, you have to make an appointment. The board manages all the employees and everything. This is our job. His job is operations. To be denied access to get information for a board meeting is wrong. Hank White has exceeded his authority. That's all.
Diane?
Yeah, look, I have, well, two questions. First of all, I know when we did did go up there and stood in front of the gate, Ron made a comment that there was a discussion, prior, about where to put that, if they were gonna build that big tank. Would we put it where the three, the tanks are that are not working anymore, put it there, or put it closer to the gate? And
Yeah.
so has the choice been? You know, if we were going to approve something, we have to know where it was gonna be put, right?
Okay,
in your packet, it shows the location, which is near the front gate.
Yeah, and it made sense to me, because Ron being in this kind of area all of his life as a career, he thinks it would be better to put it where the others, to take out the others and put it there, where all the piping is already existing. I don't understand why we couldn't
Well,
do
to
that.
clarify.
oh, hold on. Yeah.
Those three tanks sitting there are not full, they're not being used. They need to be scrapped out. The district needs to collect the money for the iron. And then put them in the same place. If you put it where he wants it, then you have to plumb it. But you have in those three tanks, you have to plumb them there now.
So, real quick,
Cheaper.
and I just gotta address this real fast, because how do you know that those three tanks aren't being used?
I've been in there, take a
When?
rock and bang on them, they're empty.
When?
And last year,
Last year.
I was kicked out. I was told not to come back.
Just for point, just so, you could be right, you could be totally wrong, we don't know. And to say it as just an affirmative fact that that's what is happening, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we don't know as affirmative fact that that's what's happening, right? You didn't go up there yesterday and bang on a tank and see if it was in.
Well, I'm giving
I'm just saying.
him notice tonight and I'll be there in the morning. And I will look at those tanks. I will take a picture of the creek that's running out from under one of them.
Obviously needs to be replaced.
Why are we leaking? Why have we been leaking for 3 years? I know that.
So.
Yeah, I do. I have one more. Where would we get the money to build this? The last one we built was paid with water selling.
Mhm.
So where would this money come from? Well, it says 2 million would cost almost 3 million to build it. So where would that money come from?
Mhm. Okay,
Capital reserves,
so it'd be basically out of the life account, right?
yes.
Yes.
So where is that on this list here of the the capital improvement plan? Is it under the rehab storage tank? Is it there? That's only giving us $500,000, 500,000. So I just want to know where it's located, where that money is located.
Located in the capital reserves on your capital improvement plan. It's located,
And that money has not been earmarked yet, correct? That's what we would
as,
be doing.
under transmission and distribution auxiliary storage tank pump station. There's $2 million there, and then we would just need to revise that given the current engineer's estimate.
Okay. So once again, it would be found can you tell me again? I thought I'd write it down. Where is it located?
What was that line item?
In the lake stuff?
Well, it's in the lake, that money's in the lake account, but what was that line item that you were saying that we'd have to revise?
Storage tank, under transmission distribution, I believe it's the second line. Second line, auxiliary storage tank and pump station. Prior to the preliminary siting study, we were considering a storage location within the district service area, which would require either a pipeline or a pump station. When Peterson Brewstad looked at that, they looked at the life cycle costs of a pump station. And that's included in page 29. And so the life cycle cost of a pump station was eliminated from consideration due to life cycle costs. So then what was examined is transmission mains to reconnect at the proper hydraulic grade line. And when you look at those costs, that also eliminated the potential for the cost associated with those eliminated a storage location in the service area. And that's what drove the decision to locate the tank at the treatment plant.
Well, that's all I have.
Yes, Ron?
Look in the PBI. It says the current demand, average day, 670 gallons per minute. The max day is 1,580 gallons per minute. You average, just say 1,000 gallons per minute. Per hour, it's 60,000. Those tanks, that tank up there will be emptied in one day. The other tank will be emptied, and then you got 2 days of water. It is not worth the expense for 2 days of treated water when it's not required by the state. I think it's an expense that doesn't need to be done at this time. It's right in here. It's in their study. Mark knows that, he went like this.
Okay, oh, no, I shook my head because I read in there too that I thought it was about a day and a half, something like that. This would give us 2 days.
Well,
And
How many minutes in a day?
Well, let's don't get into a back and forth.
And to me, that seems like something that we would want to be able to do. A day without power up here, a day with a huge demand like we had for this fire, we are gonna run out of water. We did not. Anyway, I think we've gone around, haven't we?
We have.
I make a motion that we approve the
Oh, and actually, and
proposal.
I haven't given my thoughts on this yet.
Okay.
Just give me just a second. So my thoughts on this, looking at it, when approving $250,000 is quite a bit. And I personally need to still do a little bit more research on this. I've done quite a bit so far, but not enough, I think, to satisfy myself. So for me, I'm not ready for this yet. Is there a timing issue on this yet, Hank? If we delayed it a month, would it hurt anything?
6 months of design.
They just put us out another month,
August.
put us to 7.
Uh,
Because if there is, we
in
can,
September, and then to get the bidding done to start construction in the spring. But I don't, it's up to you. The sooner we get it replaced, the sooner we're no longer relying on that. And I can tell you, there are certainly requirements for treated water storage. Title 22 of the California Code of Regulations requires us,
What
Just-
regulation?
Title 22 of the California Code of Regulations. It requires us to be able to store 4 hours of peak hour demand. It requires us to have fire storage, which is currently 1,500 gallons a minute for 2 hours. Title 22 requires, this is a state requirement. This is in the law. Emergency reserves of about 1.3 million gallon. That's for situations where the power's out or whatever. And then, so the storage requirements for minimum regulatory requirements, 0.48 million gallons, fire storage requirements, 0.2, emergency reserve 1.3, so for a total of 1.98 million gallons. We're required by state law to provide that. So if we didn't have storage, what would we serve people with when our max day can hit 2,000, especially during a fire? Without the shock absorber of storage tanks, folks would be out of water. It'd be like Mexico, where the water just goes off. So there are regulatory requirements that we have potable water storage.
And
So the timing, if we knew when the tanks were gonna fail, then we could back into a date.
I could also see a problem with summer. We've harder to use stuff change over because all the water we have to use in summer. That's.
But, so, and I'm glad a lot, I'll just make this real quick comment, because some people I'm sure are probably upset that I'm not approving this tonight, or I'm not gonna probably vote yes on this tonight, and I wanted to see this pushed out a month. But one thing to that is I just gotta do more research. I just gotta see more. So I'm not saying no to it altogether. I'm not saying yes to it altogether, but I'm just not comfortable voting yes on it yet with $250,000 being reported there. And that's not saying that nothing was done right or done wrong here. I'm just saying I'm not comfortable with voting yes on it yet.
Comment. As far as the water, fire control he's talking about, you don't use potable water. You can take it right out of the damn water.
Anyway.
You don't need potable water for the fire.
Trucks fill right out of the hydrants, that's potable water.
Pardon?
The fire trucks fill right out of the hydrants, that's potable water.
That's
I
what
know,
you-
but there's one.
But if you would want to make your motion,
I still want to make my motion, so I make a motion to approve, the proposal and authorize the general manager to execute the appropriate agreements for the design of a welded steel storage tank.
I second that.
public comment. Anything on the owl?
No hands raised.
Okay, roll call.
Sue just raised her hand.
Am I able to be heard?
You are heard loud and clear, Sue.
Little
Oh,
loud.
well, you can turn the volume down, Hank.
I think they're trying to.
Anyway, I would just like to say, please don't vote for this. I don't understand why you need sugar pine is your storage. It's gravity fed. There's generators. There's a special PG&E generator. I don't know why we're considering spending not only 250, but at least 3 million on storage. When we're in the situation we're in, I wish that money would go towards replacing the 8 miles of asbestos concrete pipe that was laid in 67 by the dam, or replacing the infrastructure that Hank pointed out. Those tanks were surplus. So was all the plumbing. And there's only one loop in Todd Valley. And you're talking about fire suppression with the water. How many fire hydrants can be on at one time? And number two, they bring the water, you guys. I just want to reiterate that this is a waste of money, and money could be better spent on infrastructure. Thanks.
Thanks, Sue. All right. Any other public comment on the owl?
Hank,
No.
Roll call.
Vice President Bell,
yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
No,
Director Pruitt,
Yes.
Director Foster,
No,
President Dowling.
No.
The motion fails 2-3.
And then I would like to turn around and make a motion to see this back on the agenda next month.
I'll second.
Okay, public comment? No, nobody? Okay. Anything on the owl?
No.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Vice President Bell,
Yes,
Treasurer Thompson,
This is for what?
bring it back.
I'm just bringing it back.
Bring it back so we can do more research.
Yes. That's what I want.
We do.
Director Pruitt,
Yes,
Director Foster,
Yes,
and then President Dowling.
Yes.
So 5-0, the motion carries.
Okay. Moving right along. Okay, approved resolution number 2026-01, authorizing agreement with Columbia Bank to participate in the California Special Districts Association Commercial Purchasing Card Program. Again,
So we currently have a Wells Fargo charge card. It's very difficult to use. It was set up by Roger. We're unable to make any changes, establish an online presence. So Columbia Bank, which was formerly Umpqua Bank, is working with the Special Districts Resource Association, California Special Districts Association to offer agencies like us a charge card. It'll be limited to $10,000. They provide a cashback option, so there'll be a little savings. There was a write-up in your board packet, page 59, on some of the challenges with the Wells Fargo card and some of the benefits of going to the Columbia Bank commercial card. There's an advertisement from Columbia Bank. And then a resolution. So the reason Columbia Bank wants a resolution is they want to have the relationship approved by the board. This is a common thing with most of these types of cards. Fairly simple resolution. I've drafted one there. Up and work.
Roger?
yeah, I'm all for it. Let's get it taken care of.
Okay, Mark?
I have a question for Hank, first. Wells Fargo didn't work out. Did you try to go back to them and get a different card or something? We have established relationship with them, other stuff. That's why it's asking.
We tried. It was very difficult. They were demanding death certificate for Roger Carroll and a bunch of other hoops. This came along the line. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
And so let's just do it.
I have a high regard to the CSDA. I think this is probably a good program. I'm happy to say.
Is that what you got, Mark?
Yeah.
Ron?
May I ask who's on that card now?
he just said Roger Carroll. Roger Carroll.
Roger Carroll's on.
Mhm.
Why hasn't that been changed 3 years ago?
Because they insist upon having a death certificate and a bunch of other documentation.
You can close the account and open a new one.
That's what we're doing right now. That's exactly what
Why
we're doing.
wasn't it done 3 years ago?
I don't
I
know.
talked to Jane Stoller about it one time when she was on, she put her credit cards on.
On the
That's what
district,
she told me.
that did
At
not,
one time she used her credit card.
that's, I don't know. Did
All
not
I'm
happen.
saying is just what she said.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you that did not happen.
Okay, well, I don't think it would have been difficult to get a death certificate for Roger or Wells Fargo. But anyway, here, I'm opposed to this, and here's why. Switching, and also, well, anyway, let me just read what I have to say. Angela Wade's memo to board members is misleading in that it infers Wells Fargo credit cards cannot offer anything the Umpqua Columbia credit card offers, but they can. And it wasn't tried. In other words, from my perspective as Ron had mentioned, well, why didn't we just open up another one? We could have, but we didn't. And it had nothing to do with providing a death certificate to cancel out Rogers. You'd have to get a death certificate to continue to use Rogers. But that's not, we could easily just make a new card, and that didn't happen. It may be true that the existing Wells Fargo card is outdated, but it cannot be updated with the necessity. It cannot be updated with the necessities Angela lists because the main cardholder, Roger Carroll, is no longer employed with the MPUD. Hank is not authorized to make changes because he doesn't have that certificate. What would have made sense to me is for Hank to establish a new Wells Fargo credit card account that includes all the changes Angela mentioned in her menu, in her memo. And Wells Fargo can do that. They can. I have it from good authority. I am not in favor of switching over all FPUD business transactions to a CSDA commercial card. If a credit card is used to make all FPUD business payments, it would eliminate the cash disbursement register. And I was having told by good authority that that would happen. The register is a valuable document for the board to study, analyze, and monitor FPUD expenses. As you might have noticed, the FPUD used several credit cards to charge supplies to run the company. And as board members, we are clueless to learn the legitimacy of those charges. At least we still have the disbursement register as a financial oversight tool. So I do oppose switching over to this CSDA. I would prefer that Hank reopen something in the FPUD's name with Wells Fargo, because we do have a relationship with them. And I want to keep the disbursement register. That's like a Bible to me. I've been studying that thing for years. That's all I have to say.
Hey, quick question on the disbursement register. Is that going to go away?
No, nothing in this proposal changes the disbursement register. What would change is, instead of seeing payments, credit card payments to Wells Fargo, you'd see credit card payments to Columbia Bank. Same exact, there's no changes to the cash disbursement register. It'll just be a different credit card. So it's just establishing a new card. And we don't do all our business through a credit card, and we do not have multiple cards. We have one card. And this wouldn't change anything about that. We would have one card. It would be through Columbia. The cash disbursement register wouldn't change, other than you would see Columbia charge card payments for
Instead of
relatively minor routine purchases. It doesn't account to very much.
all right. I'm gonna get a motion.
I thought maybe you were, but I
Yeah.
thought I would flip the page.
Yes.
Sure.
You're gonna make a motion.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-01, authorizing agreement with Columbia Bank to participate in the California Special District Association Commercial Purchasing Card Program.
Second that.
Any public comment?
I'd like to make a comment. Okay.
Anything on the album?
No.
No?
Okay, so what I would like to put out there, if we switch over, which I'm not in agreement to, and then that cash disbursement lacks a lot of the information that is already existing because it maybe has been put on this. What do we do then? What are our options? Because that would be very upsetting then.
We'll have to come back and say this wasn't happening. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Excuse me. Did I say that?
Oh, he had some head on it, but I don't think.
You did say something already.
Did you?
Not about this bank thing.
No, I don't think you did.
You didn't? Did I skip you, Ron, already?
Yeah, you went.
Well, I got a motion on the floor.
I'm used to being idle.
I thought I caught you already. Yeah, go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry that I missed you. What's that?
I did the research. I got on the website of Umpqua Bank. And they were absorbed by
Columbia.
Columbia. And I read all of the questions. I read the whole thing. Actually, I forgot all the documents. Said not read. There you go. Anyway. Umpqua Bank got busted for real estate corruption. They were, anyway, for
Okay, what?
expensive stuff.
Okay.
What it came to is, they went through court, and I read, and what I printed out were all of the comments from the people there. And then the various things they were doing was outrageous, and they got fined $55 million and absorbed by. I am not for a bank that's like that, and so I went from there, and I went online to CSDA, and I talked to a lady there, And I asked her, where's the banks that you use? I said, do you, use Columbia? Yes. There is no listing for, now what's the river again?
Columbia,
Columbia. There's no listing for Columbia. Their recommendation was Tri-State and Five Star banks. And no reference. It wasn't even on there. So this is something that I will vote no on, and I'm supposed to be treasurer now, and I'm gonna look out for the money. This is not the time to do that either. Because we need more information. I have all the information we want, but these verification forms,
Roll call vote.
Vice President Bell,
Yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
absolutely not.
that's a no.
Mhm.
Director Pruitt,
Yes.
Director Foster,
no,
President Dowling.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
And post comment, please. We talked to Wells Fargo. They do every single thing that CSDA does.
I talked to them too.
Every single thing, online.
That's right, that's right.
So this is not exactly correct.
No, it's not.
Making a mountain out of a molehill, but that's okay. Approval of change order to SCADA project phases 3 through 6 and approval of remote Sugar Pine Dam alarm system integration. Recommendation actions: approve a change order to the SCADA project phases 3 through 6 to address additional integration and programming complexities associated with upgrading 1980s era operational costs or controls at the water treatment plant for $18,000, and approve a separate scope item not assigned a phase number to design and install an alarm system at the Sugar Pine Dam site and integrate that alarm system into the district SCADA system for $5,625. Heck yeah.
So you have the proposals from CSI Metrics in your board packet, page 66 and 67. For the change order, as we knew when we started this project, this is when you do a retrofit project, you often run into things you didn't expect. This is a photo of the 1980s controller for backwash sequence. I'll pass this around right here. You can see it. What ended up happening was it was considerably more difficult to understand what this unit does and then replicate that in a programmable logic controller. CSI Metrics has
No, I don't, but I can. Ron
It's
does.
easy.
estimated about additional 80 hours of time. That's $18,000. I bet the staff stands by when they're looking at this. Their recommendation is to approve. My recommendation is to approve the change order so we can finish this process. On the dam, we've been having some issues with our current telemetry system at the dam. It's a satellite telemetry system. We're going to try to convert that to something that fits into the SCADA system a little bit better. To bring down all of the things that we measure up there. So reservoir elevation, M&I flow, fishery flow, and security. To bring those 4 things down, to put the equipment up there and have it all linked in is the 5625. My recommendation is to approve these so we can finish this before we get to spring. When the flows start moving up and we don't have as much flexibility in the plant to take things apart and put them back together under the new SCADA system.
Okay, Roger?
I don't have any more comments.
Okay, Mark?
We started this SCADA program, project, I think this is awesome. When I went through it at the company I was at, this is behind the times, really. The system we have, and so I'm really happy to see them kind of go through this. I've seen that little thing that for the backwash, which is what I think that is, and that's that reminded me, I was telling Hank, that reminds me of the 1960s clothes washing machine I had. And it had all little dials like that you go through it and it would sequence it. And that's what we're using, and I can understand when they have something that's complex, that it would, cost more money. And on the, bringing more information down, this has been on my list for quite a while. I'd like to be able to see us to have that a lot more information come down that, rather than having to send somebody up there to see something that's going on. Anyway, go ahead.
Ron?
Well, I have enough information. Now I understand that number 7 was canceled, phase 7,
No,
it wasn't,
yes, it was,
and that's the dam monitoring.
I don't know.
The dam monitoring doesn't have a phase, correct? Is this,
Correct.
it wasn't part of it, it wasn't part of it.
I can't remember what all was in phase 7. Phase 7 was rejected. I don't recall what was in phase 7.
Right off, not off the top of your head,
Off the top of my head, correct.
but obviously, we didn't need phase 7, or it was,
At the time,
At the time.
it was intended to come back. But this is what's before you. We can move forward. It's good work. It's gonna really bring us into proper control in today's environment. And this is what it will cost.
okay?
Okay, here's a big problem with this project. Okay, and I'm gonna read this, and I have all the documentation here from all board minutes for 2 years. Okay, so this, I'm gonna give you the transition, the timeline. So on October 9th, 2024, in the board minutes, page 3, action item 3, I've got it all here. The board approved 40,000 for the oh, this is for you, by the way, because you will need this when you're looking at the SCADA, CIP, and it has approved 50,000 for the 5-year project, $50,000. Okay, so on October 9, 2024, the board minutes show that we approved 40,000. I wasn't here then, but for CSI Metric to provide phase 1 and 2 for the supervisor control and data acquisition called SCADA, which is the acronym SCADA, for the Forest Hill water treatment. The 5-year capital plan for 2024 through 29 allocated 50,000, and that's what I gave you. It's 50,000. On pages 108 to 110 on that month's agenda packet, Hank included a memo to the board explaining phase 1 and 2 are the backbone of the SCADA system. Phases 3 and 5 will complete, and this is a quote from his statement in the agenda packet. Phases 3 through 5 will complete the system and provide complete remote monitoring of plant operations. He continues to give the financial implication, quote from Hank, the 2024-29 capital improvement plan budget allocated 100,000 for a treatment plant SCADA project. That's not in there. It was 50,000. That's why I gave that to you.
Right.
On March 12, 2025 board minutes, page 2 action item, the board approved 54,760 for CSI Metric to provide services completing phases 3 through 6. No, Hank said it was gonna be 3 through 5. And I have that information here too. I've got all this notes. On pages 15 through 17, on that month's agenda packet, Hank included a memo to the board explaining phases 1 and 2 were completed in February 2025, which is true. Phases 3 through 6 will complete the system and provide complete remote monitoring of plant operations. He continued to give the financial implication. The 2024-29 capital improvement plan budget allocated 150,000 for a treatment plant SCADA project and replacement. Now he's gone from, we've got a 50,000, then he went to 100,000 in 1 year, and now he's got it up to 150,000 in another document. So to summarize, 2024, the board was told the project involved phases 1 through 5. And we had 100,000 was authorized in the capital improvement plan, which there was only 50,000. In 2025, the board was told CSI Metric is ready to work on phase 3 to 6. Where did 6 come from? And we don't know. And 150,000 was authorized, which isn't true. For next area of concern, and here's the next thing. The cash disbursement for November and December say that we have paid for a phase 8. It's in the cash disbursement December, the one that we just got in the packet. Now, I would like an explanation of that because we didn't have a 6 originally. Now all of a sudden we have a 6. And then now all of a sudden we have an 8. And now we're said that this company is behind schedule and they want $18,000 more from us. Well, a legitimate company doesn't do stuff like that. If they're very legitimate and very reputable, they would have this all figured out and then not charge us 18,000 because they haven't finished the project. I'm against that. It's you're giving them anything. They need to finish the project for what was scheduled on the contract. But anyway, I'm concerned about phase 8 and phase 6 because that wasn't originally that wasn't in the beginning of the documents that were discussed on SCADA.
Do we have a contract for that?
Yes,
Who signed the contract?
I did.
You did? You're not authorized to sign contract.
Authorized by the board in October and.
You're not authorized.
Ron, please do
President.
not do that. I don't want the back and forth.
Well,
Chase,
Well,
if you
don't do
look
the
at
back and
the-
forth.
If you look at the capital improvement budget you have there, you'll see under treatment plant, there's 2 line items, control panel replacement, SCADA GIS. That is the project. That's where the 150,000 comes from.
Tell me where
The
it
control-
is again. Where is it again?
It's right in the center of the document you just
Okay, it's
circulated.
called
I-
control
this-
panel replacement.
Yes, that is part of the SCADA program. We had it separated at first and those combined into one project. You cannot have a SCADA system without replacing the control panel. So those two go together. That's where the 150 comes from. If you see, there was 100,000 for budgeted for the control panel replacement and 50,000 for the SCADA GIS. Those are one project.
Well, and didn't we sign something, or didn't we approve something just this last year since I've been on the board? We've approved something with the SCADA system. I want to say it's like in
That was probably
March, maybe
phases
February.
3 through
It was-
6.
I have it.
Yeah, we approved
Yes, we
stages
did.
3 through 6, right?
Yeah, but I didn't realize when I started going back and looking at things and thinking, there's something wrong here. So I went back to the notes and when I went way back to the beginning, we only went through 5 and then all of a sudden 6 appeared and we did approve it. But my question is, why is it going? We are told it's up to 5. That's going to complete the project. We're told it's in the notes. And then all of a sudden 6 appears and we weren't on the board then, so we approved it. And now we've got a phase 8 somewhere. You can have this. I have 2 copies.
So,
The phase 6 was included in the initial presentation to the board, phases 1 through 6. Actually, phases 1 through 7.
and this was in
Phases 1 and 2
2020.
were the first couple of steps and those were approved by the board. And then phases 3 through 6 were approved. Phase 7 has not been
You
approved.
can read it.
And phase 8, I'm not exactly sure how that got into the thing. I'm not aware of a phase 8. That may be typo or I don't know. I'll find out what that is.
But my point is that we started off being told, and we weren't on the board then, but told that that would complete the project up to 5. And then a new board comes along, we don't know any different, and all of a sudden there's a 6 appears.
So just a point of clarification, and because I think the operators really like this system. They want to see our plant updated.
It's great.
I think it's a great
Do too.
system. And so what I think is happening or might be part of the confusion here, and I can only speculate, but I think where it comes from is they've approved this and then, up through phase 5, let's say to begin with, because I'm just going off of what you're saying here. And then they come back and they say, hey, well, actually, let's do one more thing, because we're updating this section. That was 1 through 5. Now let's update this section. And let's update some more stuff and get it just like what they're talking about with the dam for 5,600, whatever it is dollars. So it's like the dam wasn't included in that in the beginning, but they're coming to us saying, hey, we like this system. It's really working. Can we put it at the dam too? And this is the operators coming, Hank, I'm guessing, and saying this to him. So I'm going to trust what
We
they
don't
say.
know that.
Looking by the small on their faces.
Total money, what's gonna finish it?
Total money, so depending on if we probably go to more phases or not, I'm guessing.
Correct. More phases and more unknowns,
So there's $18,000 added on to phase 6, 3 through 6.
3 through 6.
And how much did 3 through 6 cost us originally?
54s, 58, something like that.
54, 58. So I mean, it's kind of.
I don't know, I couldn't say.
$54,760, and that was, we authorized that March 12th of last
So
year.
last year, that's the piece that we authorized.
Yeah,
For 3 through 6.
yeah.
And so they're doing an overrun on that. But
Yes,
So if you add up everything that he has in here, including the 18,000 and including the 5,600, we're at 117,000.
and so we're under the
We're under
150,000.
150,000.
So we're into it 117 now.
117, if we
We'll
approve
be
the,
up to 117, we'll still be underneath 150.
You're buck and a half then, about that.
I'm
150?
sorry, you were talking at the same time I was talking. What I said is, if we prove everything tonight, the 117, all 117K is underneath the 150K that is in the capital improvement budget. Now that being the capital improvement budget doesn't authorize anything, it just means that
that's
that's part of the plan.
so with that said,
Well,
So that's what I'm asking, Mark, is what would be the total? Is this tied into this 250?
no, the 250 is for the tanks, that's a completely different.
No, this is just the scale we're talking about in this communication to the dam.
well, Hank is saying it's 150,000, but that wasn't clarified on here. He's saying
it
it's
certainly
we
is.
have
The two lines
150,000.
right
It's those two, it's,
We have 150,000. It's supposed, well, what is
it
it?
was budgeted for.
Yeah.
I would like to make an emotion to,
Wait, I do have one thing. I think my point has been not taken the way, my point is that we have a company that has quoted us at a certain price. And all of a sudden they're saying, and I have to go there with Georgetown, but, because it happened there too. Is the fact that this company is saying, whoa, we need more money because we just thought we haven't finished it. Who knows why? That's not the way a company works. If they give you an amount that they're gonna finish this with, they don't come back to you and say, well, we're sorry, but we need more time. I'm not impressed. I don't think it's right that we could give them another $18,000 because they underestimated. They're a professional company, and I'd like to know if we had any other bids too. Do we have any other bids for this project?
And I did a search on the SCADA companies,
Yeah.
the top of the line SCADA company, CSI is not even listed.
No, it's not.
okay. Well, regardless of that,
So I think it needs more research before we commit more money.
Let me try, I make a motion to approve the proposed change order for phases 3 to 6 of the water treatment plant SCADA project for not to exceed 18,000. And I also at the same time include approving a separate authorization to add a remote dam site alarm system and integrate it to the existing SCADA system for not to exceed $5,625.
I'll second that. Public comment. Coming back, anything on the owl?
nothing.
Well, what about the phase 8 that's been paid for in November twice?
I believe that was answered. I believe that was answered in the typo.
He said that, he thinks that's.
Oh, but then we should put this on hold until we find out.
Well, we got a motion and we got a second, now we're gonna go to
Until we find
Hello.
out if it's an error.
roll call vote.
Vice President Bell,
Yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
Absolutely not more.
that's a no.
That's a no.
Director Pruitt,
Yes.
Director Foster,
No,
and President Dowling.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Okay.
so we're gonna ignore the phase 8 thing, like, we're gonna ignore it? We're paying for something that we haven't even approved. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so board member action items, review and consider action regarding proposal for finance manager services, including selection of a proposal. So, we had, I believe, 6 applicants, or is it 5? Did I, that right? For the finance manager position,
6.
6. And that's, Roger, do you have any? Comment? Mark?
Yeah. I did my due diligence here, went through a lot of them and I guess the first thing I'll say is that, we had a request for proposal. Of the 6 items we had, actually only one of them was a proposal. The other 5 were resumes or similar kinds of things. So if we were to go just based on, if we were looking at this as being some sort of contracted item where we needed a proposal, 5 of these would be rejected out of hand. But I don't think we necessarily want to do that. So, I looked at all of them. And I don't know if I want to go, if you want to go through all these, but I thought I would do that very quickly. The first one that's in the one is Mallory Cummings, just not a fit in our proposal. It lays out some of the things we have, and there's no government accounting, no accounting experience at all. Just looking at the general hiring, she's not stable, no bookkeeping, no QuickBooks. Just not a good fit at all. The second one, growth mode group. Gosh, it's not even a resume. This looked to me like a web page, and so I looked them up. It is their web page. They didn't even go through the effort of kind of giving us, any kind of real data on them. Also, there's nothing in here that says they're familiar with government or that they're familiar with gas. They provided us with no real details, and so I would reject that one also. Next on 3 is Renee Richards. We're looking for somebody that can keep the books. There's no bookkeeping experience here, no accounting experience. Kind of hard to have a finance manager that does accounting without any accounting experience. No accounting education, no knowledge of general accounting procedures or government accounting procedures. I can't see us having somebody like that working in this kind of position. Lori Stringer. This is somebody that might be able to do, kind of payroll and, some of the lower level kinds of things, but certainly nothing higher level. No GASP, no GAP, no budgeting, no auditing, no government accounting. Nothing there. The next one is LSL, who we are using and has all those experiences. They did give us a proposal, and they do cover all those things in there, that how they meet those requirements. Well, let's see. I think that's 5, and we have after that 6. Akhil Kumar Taraganda.
And there should, so I think there's 7.
Is there? Okay, so.
Page 94.
Yeah, I'm currently looking at page 94. So this man apparently, well, maybe it's a female, I can't tell, but anyway, this person is a great auditor, and they say auditing everywhere. They don't say anything about doing. They don't do anything. They don't do any accounting. They don't do, any of the other items we have. I say no government. I give them credit for, even though, well, it says Indian GAAP, but also could say US GAAP, but no gas, nothing having to do with government. So I can't see that we want to have somebody that doesn't know how to do all of these things, that we're gonna hire them to do them. So, there is a 7th one.
Mhm.
Yes. Jesse Katakutan, also not a fit. Did do accounting a long time ago, like 20 years ago. Then went into a different kind of experience. A fair amount of working budgets. And doing some budgeting for, not the kind of agency that we are, not a government agency. No general accounting, acceptable practices training, no gas. Again, not something that, is really down our line. So that's kind of maybe an elaborate go through of the ones in terms of, what their experience is like. All right, so there's my comments.
Okay.
Rob?
That was your last one, Sally.
No, Sally's, that's, that's for the set board secretary. Position.
Get to the sorry. Okay. So Mallory, she resides in Las Vegas. Do we want a remote finance manager or one we can access? That's my question. I read the whole thing, not too bad, but what my big problem with her is, she was a finance manager for a retail holding company, for 1 year. Then she went to a finance manager for Foster Farms for 2 years. And then she went to senior financial analysis, Ingram Micro Global Information for 2 years. As a bachelor in mathematics and a master's in business administration. Looks to me like she got a hold of a job. I'll move on to the next one. Renee, there's another one from Rome. She's in Virginia. We touched it. Subsidy job. So she in her employment history. She was 21 present, 4 years. With budget analysis and anyway, now look, she was a project manager from 15 to 21 for 6 years. Then again, it's in Virginia. So then I come to Lori Springer. I like this simply because she lives here. And it's a perfect fit. And then, her employment with Department of Health and Human Services was for 5 years. Her, with United Healthcare for 4 years. And she's currently employed. Now, we have LSL now. So we're gonna pull somebody out of there. And they're gonna stay with LSL, they're gonna come up here and sit. And then you have, Miska. Senior advisor, in India. Educated in India. Certifications. Okay, she worked from 21 to 23, 2 years for International Michigan Associates in India. She worked from 16 to 19, 3 years in another firm in India. In her cert. Well, I've worked with many Indians. Hindu Indians. When I worked overseas, I had 200 workers for me. They didn't cross them.
Okay.
I take that out. Now, whether that's biased or not, it's just from my experience. And I don't know if you would qualify fit in here with all the work he's done in India. So anyway.
We don't need to elaborate on it.
Okay. Well, and Jesse. He's I think he's an older man. He did 23 years with University of California. Prior to those 23 years, spent 4 years with the City of Sacramento Accounting and Budget Office, 4 years in the public accounting and with Gilbert CPAs in Sacramento. The last 3 years, 22 to 25, includes finance, budget, audit, administrative consulting for legal governments, for local governments and special districts with Dr. Glenn is his own name, consulting and municipal resource group. And he lives in Davis. And his experience is finance audit, city of Citrus Heights, city of Gustine, Patterson, Rancho Marietta, Roner Park, San Ramon, Pittsburgh, Mountain View, city of Folsom, Davis, budgeting consulting with city of Pittsburgh, administrative service, city of Calistoga, the city of Pacific Grove. In the University of California, College of Engineering.
I don't think we need to go through the whole resume.
Well, just picking it, it's a long one, I'm not seeing everything. Outside of Lori, this would possibly be the only one that would pick, but how long would he stay? We don't know how old he is, you know, he's in retirement, probably. Got a lot of work references, you know, and Sally Hicks,
Sally's on, not.
That's
a different-
secretary.
That's a
Yeah,
different.
I got that mixed
different
up too. I
position.
saw that.
If you look at the top, it says item 8.2.
Yeah, that's for the secretary, yeah.
I don't know,
I did that, I did the same thing, yeah.
Diane?
Yeah, my turn. Okay, so I want to give an update of the cost that LSL has cost us. We're up to 5 months. The cash disbursement registers are 2 months behind, so I only have the information up through December. And so far, we have 5 months. 5 months, but it's 2 months behind, so in other words, I don't know what January was yet.
Big figures for 5 months.
Yes, and it's $77,302.50 so far for 5 months. And we have 7 more months to go. So if you do your arithmetic, you can figure out and calculate yourself that this is still gonna cost us a lot to have a outsourced company to do our finances. Now, regarding the resumes, we don't, as a board, we really don't know if these people are willing to move here. I'm all for an in-house. If we don't have an in-house, we're wasting our time. And so let me again reiterate my position on in-house person, because we don't even know if any of these people are willing to move here and then go into the office and work. We don't know. But I support an in-house. I think it's essential. Here's why. It's more economical to hire under contract an in-house finance person. This person would do all duties required and unexpected ones as well for one contracted cost. This person would have available all original financial documents at their disposal for processing, avoiding receiving secondhand via email, fax, etc., which is costly. And then we could save getting rid of ADP, which is now, by the way, their prices have gone up. We're now to $4,000 for doing the payroll, which we only have 8.5 employees. Somebody, the finance person can do that. I want to remind the board that Kelly Telford from LSL does not monitor credit card billing. She told us at her presentation last December, which I think is huge that nobody's monitoring and there are about 5 areas in the disbursement when we get that we charge. And then December, in the credit part, I lost track. She told us at her presentation last December that monitoring credit card billing is done eternally. In other words, someone in the FPUD office, like a clerk who is not legally credentialed in finance, monitors our FPUD credit cards. That bothers me a lot. That is so unprofessional. This violates our board policy 3032.7, which states, quote, "The finance manager shall review and approve credit card transactions by the general manager." That's not happening. This policy has not been enforced since our in-house manager, Roger Carroll, died in April of 2023. Also a reminder that Ms. Telford told us that yearly audits do not monitor every credit card statement. They do random checking. That's not acceptable either as far as transparency in our office. Bottom line is there lacks a great deal of financial oversight within the office regarding matching credit card statements with receipts. We are not even sure how many credit cards the FPUD has, and I know it's more than one because the disbursement shows. I count about 5. Hiring an in-house finance person would offer much more transparency to the FPUD. And I like Lori Stringer's resume. She's local and she's perfectly qualified. She could handle it, and I'm sure she would be willing to work in the office.
Of course, that would be with a 6-month trial period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she doesn't know how long it's gonna take her to get up to speed, you know, in the office. She don't know that. I mean, Roger only needed 4 or 5 days a month.
Yeah. All right, so, I think there's a bunch here. I mean, really, what are we looking at? We're looking to replace Roger Carroll that, was in the office from 2011 till 2022. Cost us, less than $50,000 a year, right? Or somewhere right there, less than 50.
Mhm.
Less
Maybe a
than,
little bit more than that.
Maybe a little bit more, but I mean, right around that. And, we're looking for a unicorn. And I hope one day we can find them. I don't necessarily know if we found one in this set, but from my estimation, LSL is the one that actually went through and completed everything that we were asking for, like Mark said. But I do like the idea of, somebody local and, also, that Jesse Katakutan, or however you pronounce that last name. I don't know if it's a man or a woman because it didn't say that in the resume. I'm gonna assume there. But my suggestion would be to actually bring, LSL or offer LSL Jesse, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, and Lori Stringer, interviews. And then, for my estimation, to give everybody else, kind of a thank you, but no thank you. And that would be,
Well, I'm gonna give it a try anyway. I don't know if we're necessarily to talk about where we are. Right now, the accounting costs for LSL for the last year total, just accounting is under 100K. We do have other expenses for things like, doing the audits. But I'm gonna see if we can't get through this anyway. I really don't think we need to go any further. And therefore I make a motion that we select LSL as our continuing finance manager, utilizing the existing agreement or contract terms.
I'll second that.
Roger, you seconding that?
Yes.
Okay. Public comment. Yes, Andrew.
I just want to make sure that those other 2 that you mentioned that you wanted to bring in for interviews are CPAs.
The one, no. The other did have their CPA, but it's expired. So I don't necessarily know how long it would take them to get that or how hard that process is. So,
and you don't need a CPA either
Yes, you
to
do.
do that job. No, you don't.
Yes, you absolutely do.
no, we're not doing that.
Hey, you tell me, do we need a CPA to do the job?
Now, we got a motion on the floor. Give me a second. Let's not get out of control. Any other public comment? No, anything on the out?
Hand is raised.
Who's hand?
My
hand. Put it down. Hey, do you have any public comment?
I would just, a clarification statement for the board and for the public. We have one credit card. Those credit card statements are analyzed by LSL every month. It's in your general manager's report, if you look on page 126, reconcile bank accounts and customer credit card payments, and then also under 2, accounts payable processing. They go through the single credit card that we have every month. And so this is not factual information. So I have Sue, I think, is on the floor, and then I have Kelly Telford is raised her hand as well.
Okay. Sue? Sure, she's got her hand raised. Yeah. Who raised her hand first? Do we know?
Sue raised her hand first. I'm trying to get her.
Okay. I would like to respectfully suggest that you guys don't vote on this tonight because I don't believe that you have a fair representation of applicants because of the difficulties in advertising this position to qualified candidates. I would like to respectfully suggest that you hire a recruiter to fill this position because LSL is so expensive, $200,000. And it's like this job includes the audit. Mark Bell keeps trying to separate the audit cost from the total cost of LSL. And it's not right. And another thing is all of the information that is given to LSL is dependent on Hank, and no disrespect meant, but Hank should not be involved in the finance manager's job. There has to be separation per GAAP, which your policy states you must follow GAAP provisions for the finance manager. And I'm sorry, but please don't vote on this and consider hiring a recruiter because you guys were not given a fair shot on qualified candidates. Thank you.
Okay, and then you said there was one more?
Kelly Telford has her hand raised.
Okay.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Fantastic.
Good to see you. I wanted to provide an opportunity to clarify some of the questions that have come up, and I'm not sure if it's appropriate, but to answer any additional questions that you may have. A question came up or a comment came up about our fees, and we are just under about $100,000 for our recurring accounting services. Our year-end close costs for the prior year were approximately $40,000, but it should be noted that over the past 3 years, every year, the district has had a significant implementation of a new GASB. The prior year was the implementation of GASB 101 for compensated absences. I talked about that a little bit at the last presentation when I presented the financials. That's a one and done cost, at least for that particular implementation. Previously, we had the implementation of the subscriptions GASB, which created a lot of evaluation of the district's expenses to see if anything qualified. And the year prior to that, we had the lease GASB. So it's been a rough accounting implementation year for all local governments. That's a part of why you're seeing a larger dollar value on your year-end close. You have a break in the next fiscal year. We do have that financial reporting GASB. That's predominantly going to be on your auditors preparing the financials, not on us having to actually change how we record things. I did want to respond to the comment about the credit card transactions. And we have over the last few years, really, especially this past year, tried to be conscious of our costs. And we do review the transactions themselves. Are we auditing them, matching the receipt to the individual credit card item? No. But we review every single cost and transaction that flows through your financial system. That includes credit card transactions, AP transactions. We're actually the ones going in and categorizing them to determine what expense account would make the most sense for those to sit in. So we are touching, from a review perspective, every single transaction within the district. So while we are not auditing those transactions, which was what we were talking about, I believe it was 2 times ago when I was present, we are not auditing those transactions, but we are touching them more from a appropriateness of does the vendor seem appropriate and what account category would it go in? And then I just wanted just globally to bring up, I've been listening to the conversation about the other folks who submitted applications / proposals. And I just want to remind the board, one of the things that we really try to pride ourselves on is the fact that you have a fractional finance department, not just an individual person. And part of the challenges that the district faced after Roger was the fact that everything was with one person and there were no redundancies, no backups, and the district was in a state of crisis. And when you have an organization that helps support your finance department, you always have redundancies. You have internal controls in place. The comment was made that everything is dependent upon Hank. It's not. We have internal controls in place, but Hank is the final approver. That's by its very nature. If you had someone sitting in the chair processing payroll, Hank would still be the final approver because you would want that person to have an internal control where their work is reviewed too, especially if it's just one person. We do have a lot of the internal controls that the district is desiring in place. The authority doesn't. While the final approval sits with Hank, we verify everything in advance of Hank doing the final approval. And we do feel that fractional model for an organization of your size, and especially in a rural community, we do think that fractional model is better for you, both in the short run and in the long run. So I just wanted to bring those to mind. And anything that you guys, if it's appropriate, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you for doing that, Kelly, but it's not appropriate because we do have a motion on the floor, so we're not going to be taking any questions. This is just a public comment section.
Thank you.
So, any other public comment? Nope, okay. Coming back?
I would like to comment on both roads. I mean, we have nothing down now. Whether we continue looking. Why commit to something now?
I mean,
It bears more research, but 30 days, 60 days.
And we could put another RFP or put another one out there.
there's a couple things.
It's a lot of money.
There's no rush really.
I mean, we are continuing with that. I mean, if we don't do anything, we continue with that.
That's from good. Let's keep looking.
Also, the fellow that you're looking at, was it Davis? Was it Jesse that you guys were talking about?
Yeah,
Okay, Jesse, when I read that, what I got out of his resume was that basically his gist of his what he does is basically consulting. That if accounting really wasn't his focus. That's what I got out of the whole resume when I read it, is that he was involved in many different aspects of companies. And being a consultant was one of them, advising, but not really specifically all the time being an accountant. So that's why I didn't like him. I mean, that's why I didn't think he was a good fit.
roll call.
Can you give the motion again?
No,
Because I've
yeah.
forgotten it.
Mark, can you take your motion? Please?
Sure, I'll state it and Hank can do his little double check over there. I make a motion that I select LSL as our continuing finance manager, utilizing existing agreement or contract terms.
Then that brings a question for me again, what are the terms? What is the contract? I've never seen the contract. I've seen the proposal, but never the contract.
The contract's been circulated to the entire board several times. I can send it out again if you'd like.
If you could,
I've never seen it. It's a proposal.
Yeah, it's a proposal.
Because
It's not.
you told us once that,
I think it's a monthly contract, if I'm not mistaken,
No, I don't think so.
or is it even that?
The way it's stated is you can drop them at any point.
I'm just trying to figure out, because you said as the contract, and he's actually making a good point, because we don't have a
Well, I
contract
don't-
sitting right here, and he asked the question.
But we've seen that before. That's why I wanna
I
make sure
know.
what we're doing is continuing. We're not changing anything.
Mhm.
That's the reason for saying continue.
well,
Not asking for change, not asking for to do anything different.
Yeah, just continue.
Just
with what it is,
continue
right?
to doing the same thing.
Okay, Yeah.
original.
no, hold on, that's. Let me just get a roll call.
Well, can you
Vice President
say-
Bell.
You gotta say this.
No, but yeah, because.
Okay,
that's
Hank, can
not
you
what I
run,
heard.
hold on, Hank, can you please state
Yeah.
The motion.
thanks again.
what you have written down there.
Select LSL to continue, and I've got a space there, I'll look it up on the tape, and continue current agreement. So Mark has it written down, and I'll get that off the tape.
Do you want me to say it again?
Well,
Sure.
I guess I don't understand it. Does it mean that, is he saying that we're agreeing or we're gonna vote on whether we should keep them?
Just continuing with them as our finance manager.
That's
Yeah,
it, that's the,
I'd
That's
like
it.
to use the
Cool,
word
got that.
temporary in there.
That's it, it's just, because they're pretty much a temporary services.
Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't say it that, but
I mean, they can, it's,
could you read what you had and see it, I'm gonna see if that's,
Select LSL and continue current agreement.
there we go, that's good enough.
okay. Roll call.
Vice President Bell,
Yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
Absolutely not.
that's a no.
Yeah, I just say no.
Director Pruitt,
Yes.
the Director Foster,
No,
and President Dowling.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Moving along.
no, wait a minute. Wait, we're moving along?
Mhm.
Have you made any decisions about continuing to find one in the future?
No, we have not been, but I will get that.
Oh, so, okay, really?
Yes.
Not
We're not
on
gonna
the
talk about
agenda.
this one.
No,
I'd hand it out.
Oh, all right, okay.
Thank you.
Oh,
All right,
Give an extra one to Hank in case he needs it for.
next. We have review and consider action regarding application for board secretary position.
Where did this come from?
This is your,
Oh, it's not yours.
this is Mark's.
Oh.
No, I just,
You made this, right, Mark?
yeah, I made that, it had some data.
It's just,
that I
that's
put
just
in
some
there.
data for the,
Yeah.
for the last action.
Oh, I
But,
thought,
board secretary position, we had 2 applicants.
Now I can comment on that one.
Now, hey, Sally's there, Ron. We had 2 applicants. One was, Sally Hicks and the other was Louis Osamuwaji. I think, I don't know. That's a hard last name to go with. Roger, do you have anything to add? No, Mark?
Well, I looked at both of these, as I'm sure everybody else did,
Which one?
99.
Yeah, 99 is where
99
it
is
starts, that's
Sally's,
Sally's, and then Osamuwaji starts on 100.
Yeah, and, Osmowaji took me out of the list when he wants $198,000 to
Mhm.
be a board secretary. So I excluded him immediately, or her, maybe that's the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Can never tell.
Doesn't like me. I guess we need to use they,
Yeah,
which kind of leaves us with Sally to look at. And this is not a terribly bad resume. It's not together clear, I mean, we did ask for proposal on this one too, although it was a little bit vague on that. You know, because we are asking for a part-time position.
Mhm.
And, you know, as things go, this isn't bad, detail oriented. You know, handle Microsoft Office, customer service. Oh, maybe.
Mhm. Ron?
It's local, right?
Mhm.
Willing to do some part-time.
Whoever this person is.
Oh, that sounds good.
Well, we'd have to ask her, but I,
Yeah, because they're only looking at
yeah,
maybe 2 days a month.
yeah.
Not, they're not for what we need.
Diane?
no, I don't have a comment. I didn't like either one of them, but I can go with whatever the boards are.
Gotcha. So the next step would be is I would like to, make a motion to bring in, reject,
Can I try?
yeah, go ahead.
I'm going a little different direction than you.
Okay, let's see if I'll like it or not.
Well, I'm just getting frustrated. We're spending a lot of time on this item. And so I would propose, well, here's my motion. That we authorize President Dowling to interview and select Sally Hicks, if qualified, and to start the process to hire. So that's an awful lot, and I'm saying I'm willing to delegate hiring this person to Mr. Dowling here, if he's okay with that, if she turns out to be okay with the interview.
Second? But I'll second. Why not? Okay,
So your previous motion
previous motion
stopped,
stopped.
Sorry.
I withdraw.
or it just in the.
Yeah, just didn't even, there was nothing there.
Yes.
Got it. Public comment? Nope. Okay, Owl?
You get caught up.
Are you?
No public comment.
No public comment, okay. Any further board comment? No? All right, roll call vote.
What's the motion again?
Uh,
Julie,
Mark, one more time, please.
over Sandy, have interviews Saturday.
Interview
Yes.
Sally.
So the short part of it, without repeating it, is
Okay,
the board is in essence
oh,
appointing
okay, got it,
Chase here to interview Sally,
okay,
see if she is qualified. Okay, and if
Alright.
that's the person we want, and if she is qualified, empowering him to make the decision that she is. And set the process through to hire her.
okay,
That process may include background checks, it may include other sorts of things. It's just the start of it, but it's going through.
okay,
Roll call.
Vice President Bell,
Yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
So we're not doing anything with Louis, right?
No.
No.
Yes,
Director Pruitt,
Yes.
Director Foster,
yes,
President Dowling.
Yes.
5-0, motion carries.
All right. Wrong. All right, next board action item is, and this should actually have read Director Dowling requests the approval for hiring an independent attorney to perform an assessment regarding the negotiation process related to the development of the GM's 2024 employment contract for an amount not to exceed $5,000, because we remember right at the last meeting, Director Foster's was pushed to March, but I thought it should be actually heard a little sooner so we can get this decided upon. So that's that. Roger.
I think it's a waste of money and a waste of time to do this. We've gone through this already. We've approved. His contract was approved. I don't see the reason to go forward more.
Mark.
I agree completely with that. I have a nice thick document, actually that's 10 of them to hand out if we have to go over this. But in essence, all of the documentation that we have both on the website that we've been getting in our board packets is very clear that we went through the processes of talking about it in the board meeting, verifying that what we did there, making announcements that we, as you put in here, I think, the board announced that Treasurer Bell, Koppelhoff, and Vance Peugeot are going to negotiate an extension. That was all documented. So was the bringing that result of that negotiation back to the board, the entire negotiated contract. Even before it was approved, was in the board packet, everybody could read it. Then going forward, that was voted on, whether we were going to approve it. It was gone over in the closed session. That was talked about briefly in the open session. There was a motion there. That motion was passed to put the contract in place. So we've done everything that we needed to, and it's all documented there. All we have to do is one. I guess since I brought it up, I don't know if I want to go through all this, but I'm going to pass this stuff out. There is the complete documentation. There are copies of, copies of the minutes that are in there that help support that. Just a couple more copies if you need them.
This for the public.
Yeah, take it out. Since I handed it out, I guess I'll just go through that real quick. If you see at the top, it says, proposed contract extension presented to the board on the August 14th meeting. It shows right there in the closed session that they're having an employee evaluation part of it, and the open session talk about the general manager's employment contract. In that board packet for August 14th of 2024, as part of that J5 item on looking at the employment contract, is in there with all of the amendments, as well, amendment and proposed amendment. That's what was proposed. And so, yeah, I excerpted copies of that stuff. You can see the little spot where it says J5. That was the J5 item for the agreement. And down below is the amendment 6, which was the proposal we received. And on the next page, that meeting, we had the minutes. Let's see, in that meeting, the other packet, let's see. Results of the August 14th meeting are in the agenda packet for October 9th, which is what the final minutes were in there. And this is, I'm going through this saying that we approved those minutes. And that's what's on pretty much the second page. And the third page is the contract was discussed. There was an agenda item closed session for D3 at the top of that page 3 of the 4 for the discussion of the agreement. And item J1 was for approving. Of course, the closed session is closed. So J1, the open action item or open session action item was to approve it. On page 31 through 37 of that board packet was the proposed contract in full. That was the board packet sent out to all board members. It's available online, and you can still go look at it today. It's still done. So I just have this one little excerpt there that says it's copy of it, so to speak. And then the results of that meeting were in the board packet for review. And the next time, and it indicates very clearly, it was heard in open session is the bottom of page 3. Applehoff made a motion to approve the general manager's employment agreement. The motion was seconded by Director Pruitt and carried 3-2 with Thompson and Stoller voting no. So it was approved by the board. And then the back page is the approval of those minutes. And you can see there, a couple of these times I have the approval there. Both of those times, those approvals have been, the final minutes have been signed by Ron and I. And behind that are copies of the minutes that I had quoted in them. That's it. Okay. Bob?
Yes, I do. You failed to mention, there were 2 contracts. The one that I gave Vance from PCWA generic. Why didn't you say something about that? This is the contract we decided on 5-0. Because he walked in there and said, this is a new contract. And when that meeting was over, he took those agreed upon, this copy of it, agreed upon, he collected all 5 of them and left. When you come in August, you said your Hank's contract was there. That's not the contract we signed. There are variations in that contract, and I can prove it. Now, the next time we went in was in October. You were on vacation. And he presented, and what Vance said when he walked in was, this is not the other contract, this is Hank's contract with an amendment. And you ought to remember that. And
try not to get into a back
they
and
forced, you guys forced it. It went through and there's an argument whether that contract is legal or not. So, yeah, I strongly suggest that we go and solve this problem once and for all. From,
Diane?
Yeah, the issue isn't so much the contract itself. The issue is that there was a negotiation committee that appeared out of nowhere that no one knew about. And I'm gonna be a little shorter in my in explaining this. So if you could turn to, anybody, you guys can turn to the page 115 in your agenda packet. 115.
So that's 115.
That's okay. So what that is it was the minutes of August 2024. And you will see somebody highlighted it in number 5, highlighted it in yellow, but I had highlighted it as well. Okay, so I did some more research on the committee. People did not know about the committee, and the committee negotiated a contract. 2 people negotiated a contract, and the rest of the board did not know anything about it. So it's not the issue of the contract. The issue is this negotiating team was bargaining without anybody's knowledge, and then the contract was approved. So looking at page 115, and so you will see that it says that Peter Applehoff and Mark were assigned to be on a committee. Okay, I did some research on committees, on the state law and Brown Act. Okay, establishing a committee is a formal action that delegates authority. It is typically passed by a majority vote and recorded as a resolution in the minutes to show it is legally binding action. And our FPUD board policy 5060.13 reads, motions, resolutions, which is what this committee, what this is supposed to, that's the word they use is resolutions or ordinances shall be recorded in the minutes as having passed or failed. So if you look at page 115, you will see nothing and no discussion regarding a committee. There was nothing and there was no vote. So that's not legitimate. It hasn't been documented that there was a committee. So now let's move on to closed session, because I've also heard, oh, it was done in closed session. Okay, if I didn't produce that for you, but you can go back and look at those minutes for August, and what you will find, there was a closed session. And there were 3 items that were discussed in closed session. The contract was one of them. Now, out of closed session, when you come out of closed session, somebody is supposed to report what basically happened in closed session. And the person that did the reporting was our attorney, Eric Robinson. He reported what had come out of closed session. He never mentioned a negotiation team, never. So there is no documentation that there was any discussion or any vote on a negotiation team. The negotiation team is illegitimate. And they had no right to bargain 5 different times with the lawyer for FPUD. They had no right to do this. They had no authority to do it. There's nothing documented in the minutes in August 15th, both in closed session and open session, that says that they had that approval. So this is why we need an independent attorney to look into this and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But we need that taken care of. We need it solved. Because I'm telling you that there's no documentation. There's none. Nobody can produce it for me because it doesn't exist.
Yes, sir.
yeah, the other comment I have is, when they went into session, Jane Stoller said that she would like for Mark and Peter volunteered, we would like to have to look for another general manager that would fit better with this district. And they said they would, and they would report back they didn't know.
All right, as far as going down to me, me personally, I just want this situation behind us. And if we don't do something about it, it's just gonna keep being a thorn in our side, so.
So let me try to do something about that. I'm gonna make a motion that we reject this approval to hire attorney and that we ratify the negotiation process.
Anybody gonna second that?
I'll second it.
Public comment?
I think it's a waste of money. If they want to prove something, take it out of your pockets and do it.
Take it out of your pocket,
Hold on, no back,
all of our pockets. There must be.
Ron. Thank you. Any other public comment? Anything on the owl? Okay. Roll call vote.
Sure, I got the motion, reject proposal and ratify GM agreement. That about right?
I said ratify the negotiation process.
Okay. Ratify negotiation process. Vice President Bell,
Yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
No,
Director Pruitt,
Yes,
Director Foster,
No,
President Dowling.
No.
Motion fails 2-3.
And then I would like to make a motion that the board approve the retention of an independent outside legal counsel to perform a process-based assessment of the negotiation of the general manager's 2024 employment agreement, authorize expenditures not to exceed $5,000, and establish an ad hoc committee of 2 directors to be appointed by the board president for the limited purposes of recommending qualified counsel and proposed scope of work to the full board.
I second it.
Public comment. Anything on the owl?
Nothing.
Roll call vote, please.
We didn't have a chance to comment on that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I can see where you're trying to go here. I can see that that might be a potential. The issues, though, I think are fairly clear. Everything is in public document. You know, she talked a little bit about what happened in the closed session, and so I could see where that might need some investigation. The part that we read there, you know, where it says the board announced, or it was announced that the board selected this, that selection was in the closed session. And that is the announcement from the closed session. And actually, that was Ron that made that at that time. So I can see there'd be some investigation that might need to be done here. But I'm thinking that this is more like a couple hours, something for, you know, an hour or so to go through these documents, and maybe another hour to talk to parties or two. So I don't see that $5,000 is anywhere close to what we ought to be paying for something like this. Even if we take the high end of $500 an hour for a very experienced attorney, that's still only $1,000. So I don't know why you're going that high. If you've kind of thought about why it's going to be that expensive to do. I can see selecting an attorney is going to be difficult. I think there's a way to actually get some suggested names out of somebody that's been in the business, such as our own attorneys. As Diane had said earlier, when our attorneys were approached, they said, yeah, you know, if you want to go out and do that, you can. And they said at one point, and we have some names of some people you can go to if you want to do that. That would be a way to get some names. Having an ad hoc committee certainly makes a lot more sense to me than sitting here. But that's still I still think that needs to come back to the board. I don't remember exactly what you said there before that selection is made.
I should have printed it out and gave it to everybody.
Can you print it out and give it to me?
I can't.
Yeah, okay, so the part I just asked about, it says, ad hoc committee of 2 directors to be appointed by the board president for the limited purpose of recommending qualified counsel and proposed scope of work to the full board.
Mhm.
Okay, so that meets that criteria.
All right. Roger?
Roll
Roll.
Well, can I comment? I don't think I commented, did I?
No, but we already got the motion on for and it's already,
Oh, I thought it was.
Second.
So,
he just never, he just.
I'll have to
make a
comment
comment back and forth.
Oh, afterwards,
I need a
okay.
second.
Oh, all right.
Vice President Bell,
I'll go for it. Yes, that was a yes.
That was a yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
Yes,
Director Pruitt,
No,
Director Foster,
Yes,
President Dowling.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Okay.
and can I make a comment?
Yes.
Would it be okay? Okay, so in regards to finding an attorney, there is a method. I discovered that CSDA has a whole list of attorneys for special districts.
Oh.
And yeah, and so,
Speaking of that, I got, real quick, now that that's been approved, I'd like to appoint myself and Diane Foster to the ad hoc committee.
Okay.
so they have a whole list of attorneys that they recommend for special districts, like for water and stuff like that. And it covers all over California. But but it would be easy to, well, a start, I would say, to go through, and I will do this, go through and then find firms that are close nearby, nobody that's too far away, not in Los Angeles.
Well, and we can do this all in the ad hoc committee too and just start.
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's why we-
all right, then I don't have to mention that,
yep.
okay, all right.
All right, so moving right along, board member policy action items, consider revised job description for the treatment plant distribution operator 1 position, and this was your one for the month?
Yes,
Okay,
and we are at 2 hours.
okay, oh, at 2 hours, due to our new, agenda, 5025. At 2 hours, we can have to take a vote if we want to keep going, or if this is good, but I'll make a motion that we keep this meeting going. Can I get a second?
I'd like to propose that if we do that, and if that passes, we take a 2-minute break. But go ahead with your motion.
So I'll make a motion to continue this meeting as long as we get a 10-minute break so everybody can use the restroom and refresh themselves and stretch their legs. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
5-0.
Opposed. Yeah. Yep. All right, so 10-minute break.
I don't know.
And I'm gonna bring this meeting back to order at 8:05. So we're gonna back to, board member policy action item 9.1, consider revised job description for the treatment plant distribution operator 1 position.
So I have a short memorandum. I have a revised treatment plant distribution operator 1 position. And in the packet on page 119 is the existing.
Okay. This is the existing on 119, you said?
Yes. Page 117 and 118. Revised 119 and 120 is the existing.
Okay. What are the main things that you changed in this thing?
Just went through and looked at descriptions and things they do and tried to make it a overall. I didn't really go line by line, I went just. What the current job description entails.
Okay.
Just.
So kind of, it wasn't really a line by line edit, it was more of a. Roger? Mark?
So I looked at it, not line by line again, but I do appreciate they took a lot of things that were from in essential functions as learned to do. There's still a couple of learn in there. I can see where he's expanding. We actually have to go out and learn where things are. Some made some sense. It looked like he updated this from back in 2014, perhaps even before that, to fit in a little bit more with our current realm of expectations. So yeah, I can see some good changes.
Ron?
Yeah, I have nothing. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll go forward and I'll make a motion to approve the amendments.
I'll second that.
Public comment? Coming back, and for the board comment? No, roll call vote.
I just have one quick one. Did one of the employees quit? Is that replacing one or we're adding one?
This is just for the employee
This is the job description.
job descriptions that we asked them to do in December, just to
Yeah.
update them, or was it December, or November? Right?
November.
November. We asked them to just update one a month, so we can kind of bring our current policy up to date on this stuff. Yeah.
We could bring it up at the very end.
All right, roll call vote.
Vice President Bell,
Yes,
Treasurer Thompson,
No.
Director Pruitt,
Yes,
Director Foster,
Yes,
and President Dowling.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Okay, perfect. Then now we're moving on to review amendment to policy 2000.30 and approve. So 2000.30 was last month's.
I wanted to drop it because it's not, to me, it's premature right now because we could, based on what Vance was telling us, I think right now it should just stay the way it is.
Well, we already,
I know somebody did, but I didn't.
Roger, do you have it? Hold on, I'll get to you.
I'll do.
I have an order of things.
Okay, that's fine.
yes. I have one little comment, because I don't think it's quite clear.
Mhm.
And it may very well be my wording, but I think it kind of switches back and forth. Oh, I wasn't looking at that particularly. We changed it and we put in this policy section 2000.
Mhm.
And I think we really meant policy series
Mhm.
2000. And so I would like to propose that we change that.
Ron?
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's too premature because, well, here's my position, and I said this last time, that it's irresponsible for any board to approve items on any employee's contract that would override a board policy. So that's what this does. And I understand what Vance said in the last meeting. So therefore, what Vance had said was basically that what the override is right now, currently the only one has to do with Hank's contract. So as far as I'm concerned, when we're, that this is, as far as I'm concerned, that just leave it the way it is. I don't see any, oh, what is this? Is this the one that?
This is, I just wanted you to have that. I'll explain once you're.
So I have no comment. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, leave it the way it is. It says that we can, that a contract can override, anything in a contract can override board policy. That's not transparency, and that really erodes a board's ability to do their job and to keep the policies transparent and accurate and followed. That's what I have to say.
All right, so,
Conflicts with 50/40, it said that the board has the right to reject for several things, actually.
when I looked at this, and so last meeting, when I made this motion, because there is some disagreement on it, when I decided to add in policy section 2000, what I really meant was series 2000, because if you just go to policy section 2000, that's just what we have here, 2000.10 through .30. And so if you say that whenever the agreement of employment established between the general manager and the board of directors is in conflict with policy section 2000, said agreement of employment shall prevail. Well, then now you're getting into a snake eating its own tail. So because it just now, the employment contract could
Superseded.
supersede that, it wouldn't work,
That's terrible.
right? So looking at the better language, what should have been said, and what I meant by that was whenever the general manager's employment agreement conflicts with the provisions of the 2000 personnel series concerning compensation, benefits, leave, accrual, or severance, the employment agreement shall prevail. And that's so we can keep, and like we said in the last meeting when Vance was here, so we can keep getting quality general managers in the future. And so that way we can look over their contract and say, okay, yes, they can get higher pay or this, that, and the other thing. So with that,
You gonna make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to adopt the wording whenever the general manager's employment agreement conflicts with the provisions of the 2000, should not say personnel on their sheet there, series concerning compensation, benefits, leave accrual, and severance, the employment agreement shall prevail. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Public comment? Anything on the owl? And stop.
Nothing.
All right. Any further board member comment? No? All right, roll call vote.
I do.
Oh. Right, you kill me with that every time it's delayed. We're gonna say,
Already state law that, I'm pretty sure it's state, but anyway, that a signed contract overrides policies. You don't have to add to that, it's already the law. A signed contract, a signed legal contract, that's priority.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you found that somewhere?
As long as it's within,
All right.
and then.
Yeah.
the Contract
I think that
should
last
be
time.
You don't need to what you're putting in there.
I've
It's
never seen
already
it.
state law.
So it is.
And just to remind you, we brought that up before, and I said that too, but that's part of why I think our policies are there, is not just to give us what we need to know, what our thing to do, but also give us an idea of what else is out there. In this case, it's saying contract will override, and that way you can kind of know that.
Cause I
And we
know,
have other things that are the same way. All that stuff we have in there about agenda on Brown Act, that's all stuff that you could read in the Brown Act if you wanted to go read that every single time, but it says it's our policy.
yes,
Sorry.
straight
Elaborating.
from CSDA, it says that all of our policies are backed by state laws, as long as they comply with state and local government. So everything in here is backed by state law, as long as it conforms. That
Hey, can
means
you
a
read,
violation is a violation of state law.
can you read that back to me, what you have there? Or just, I had it, I took out the 2000 and where it says personnel,
You just took out personnel.
personnel was the only one.
So it would be adopt the revision of policy 2000.30 with the wording. Whenever the general manager's employment agreement conflicts with provisions of the 2000 series concerning compensation, benefits, leave accrual, or severance, the employment agreement shall prevail.
Yes. Okay, roll call.
Hang on, let me make one. Vice President Bell,
Yes.
Treasurer Thompson,
No,
Director Pruitt,
Yes.
Director Foster,
No.
and President Dowling.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Coming back now. There we go. Discussion item. This item was placed on the agenda by Director Foster category, discuss customer service rep job opening. Discuss history of customer service rep.
Yeah, okay, so on the website, Hank has what do they call it,
RFP.
RFP on the website for customer service rep one. We have a clerk one and a clerk two, and both of them work part-time. Now, I'm gonna assume that since we're looking for a rep one, that our clerk two is leaving. I'm gonna assume this because Hank hasn't told us. That clerk two is leaving and clerk one is moving up to clerk two. And we're hiring because Angela is clerk one right now, so she probably is moving up to clerk two when she's here. So my question is, and I did the research going back since 2012, I've gone back through all the minutes. We've always had two full-time positions for managing the office. Okay, we never had an assistant before. It was we do now, but she's full-time, and then both of our clerks are part-time. So that makes, two full-time, and when you put them all together. But if Hank is looking for a full-time, he says part-time, we're full-time. So that means that we're looking for more hours to work in the office. So I'm wondering, is there more work to do in the office? Why are we looking for somebody for more hours for an employee? I'm not understanding. Is there a need? There must be.
There's a need. We need more coverage in the office.
And since, I've always never understood, because we've outsourced almost everything, which tells me that you need less people in the office. So that's what I don't understand. If we've outsourced everything, most everything, why would we need more work in the office? Would there be more work in the office?
We need more support in the office.
But give me an example of, what, because we're outsourced everything. Everything is gone away. The finances are gone.
You outsource something, that doesn't mean the district no longer does things. So customer service, walk-ins, payments, those are not outsourced. And so we need people in the office for coverage, for office hours, and so on and so forth. And to take customer payments, to deal with customer questions, to assist the crew during breaks with contacts with customers and things like that. Those aren't normally outsourced. Outsourcing is so the fractional finance team. Yeah, we don't need a full finance team, so we outsource that. But that doesn't mean we still don't have to process accounts payable and deal with payments and so on and so forth. So
if we didn't outsource, then we would need a couple more employees in the office? Then what we have.
If we didn't outsource, that would be a terrible financial move, because you would be purchasing the necessary services full-time when we don't really need a finance team full-time. We don't need engineers full-time. We don't need attorneys full-time. So we outsource that.
Well, I'm talking specifically about the finance director, because if that becomes an in-house person, then I'm sure that finance person would need the help with the clerks.
Let's keep it on the.
Oh, okay. That's all I'm wondering. I'm wondering why we're going full-time and we're hiring more help. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, I think a good email to Hank, and then maybe a good write-up, would you be able to? Sure. Maybe make this in a good, where we.
Well, I mean, the office isn't even open 5 days a week, and I don't want anybody to tell me it is, because it's not. There's, on Fridays, most of the time, it's not open. So why would we need more work, more helpers? If the office is only open 4 days a week? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, Ron?
Is there somebody leaving? Is that why we're putting another one on?
There's been a reduction in hours.
Reduction in hours, so we need another person.
We need additional support in the office. That's why we're moving through this. This is a day-to-day operations issue. The positions are approved. You've approved 2 full-time employees. I'm not exceeding that, and that's what I need to do. We need more support.
Well, I'd ask, who are the 2 full-time employees besides Amber or another one?
We don't have 2 full-time employees.
There's clerks are part-time. I'm assuming.
I understand.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put another one part-time on?
It depends on how the recruitment process goes. We'll see what kind of talent's out there and we'll make a decision as that comes along.
So you're saying that nobody's leaving?
It's really, it's a day-to-day issue. We need support in the office and I'm taking care of that. So that's-
Well, and.
Hold on real quick.
But she's clerk one and we are looking for a clerk one. So we're gonna have two clerk ones?
Sounds like it.
It depends. I'll have to look at what the qualifications are during the recruitment process.
We're not
I
getting.
don't recall, I think we did advertise as a customer service rep one, but you never know what you're gonna get. There's such things as hiring above minimum. It just depends on what the recruitment process brings.
Okay.
So they're overworked now?
Ron, we need more support in the office. That's it.
We're not getting a right answer.
But he's just asking for, and it was just a discussion item anyways. And so he's doing everything that he's legally supposed to be doing right now. Now, I'm guessing,
I would like to-
hold on, I'm guessing the reason why he can't answer some of this stuff is because if some of this stuff due to personnel issues and things like that, he can't answer, I'm guessing. So if you keep Brian, I mean, it's gonna make him sound like like he's trying to dodge a question, but really can't answer it
Well,
anyway.
no, I think if we can for clerk one, clerk two, we're not revealing any people's names or anything like that. I just did, but the fact is that this isn't transparency. This is not transparency. We haven't gotten any answer. We haven't. Let's just.
Yes, Ron?
You said we reduced hours.
Yeah,
If we reduced hours, why are we hiring?
I think what he was meaning to say by that is
Don't
that
let him talk. Don't.
that
I think you
person
got it. It's pretty simple.
was, they're taking reduced hours, so we gotta find somebody else to take the option.
that doesn't make sense. Do you understand? It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense in my head, so maybe I'm not explaining it well, but that's.
Well, do you mind if I try if I had a chance to? I mean, this says it's part-time or full-time.
Mhm.
So if he says he's reducing hours, somebody's reducing hours. You get a part-time person in to fill that back in. I mean, it's pretty clear, right?
And what to me, reducing hours means somebody's leaving. That's
Well,
what.
maybe it
But
means that
so,
too.
so maybe somebody is, but that's, so
But
that's
but
not
they may
that
have
big of,
said
I know that's.
No, it's not a big deal. No, it's not at all. I just want honesty here. Just tell me. Okay?
But I don't necessarily know that he can give you that.
I mean, I.
So
want to
that's
figure it out.
that, once you already figured it out, then why ask?
I want him to tell me.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, he can.
That's the
Move
issue.
on.
Anyways,
Okay.
future agenda item.
Yeah.
There is no future board member action items, no future policy action items, and no future discussion items. And we've cleared all those off of our agenda, so those are open. So, general managers report, please.
So your general manager's report is in your packet. Safety meeting on January 12th. We discussed defensive driving in wet weather. We received the initial reimbursement for the gen set for the water treatment plant. We received a check for $51,472. The balance of the grant, approximately $135,000 will be coming, or the total grant is $135,000. That'll be coming in upon project completion, so I'll keep you posted on that. The Sugar Pine Reservoir spilled on about January 1st, and it's spilled for most of January. It's pretty close to spillway now.
It's good, quit spelling.
Going back and forth. So part of what we do, we watch for conditions that are placed on our water rights. Our Sugar Pine water right permit 15375 has a condition that we need to release water for fishery maintenance. It has a flow requirements that vary throughout the year. And so, let's see, on or about the 1st of February, we adjusted that flow to 5 cubic feet per second. So you'll see with the spill, I don't know what it's really gonna look like in the lower channel, but it really doesn't make a big difference. If we're spilling at 45 or 50, we're still required to release that water. But if we're spilling, it's not hurting reservoir storage. So we try to watch that very closely to make sure that we maximize, holdover storage. December 2025 accounting services summary, you'll see there on the second bullet, that LSL is reviewing all customer credit card payments. You'll see down, bullet 2, accounts payable, that's the single credit card that the district holds. They go through that every month. And so for the board's pleasure, they are looking at things. So that's my report.
All right.
Well, I have some questions, okay to ask, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I hang on the grant, who's giving that grant for number 2?
The grantor agency is Placer County Water Agency.
Okay, Placer County, okay, and then, when it comes in, can you tell me where it is deposited? You know, I mean, like of all the papers that we get in our packet, where would it be deposited? You know, I mean, I don't
You
mean,
deposited
yeah,
where? If it gets deposited in the Wells Fargo
But what-
account,
which document would it be that we get in our packet? We get all kinds of.
you don't receive, we do approximately 2,000 deposits a month, and each of those deposits is not included in your packet. But if you look at I think it's in the profit and loss. Oh, it won't show up in this one because it was deposited too soon, but you'll see under income, grant income for the year, I'm on page 9.
Okay, page 1.
So far, we've deposited 31,168 in grant income. As soon as the reason you get these reports is it takes a while to prepare this information. And so you're getting the July through December 6-month report. You will receive January next month, and I can't remember the date of the deposit, but I think it will be in January. So it'll show up on your profit loss under grant income account 49930. It'll show up right there.
Okay, so it comes in increments, then it doesn't come in one lump sum, it just comes
It
in.
does.
But
It comes in.
oh, it does. Okay, so when will I see it? On the,
In next month's.
oh, okay, so it came in January, but I'll see it in the.
Yeah.
Oh, it's two months behind, just like the disbursement is?
Believe, is that correct, Hank?
Yes.
Yes.
As we just got December's and we're in February, so
Yeah.
there'd be real no way to get you February's. I mailed the packet out on the 4th. So you can call it 2 months, but it's really 1 month. January is being prepared right now.
Oh.
We're in
I see.
February.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
okay,
And there's no reasonable way to get all of that completed
Mhm.
by the time I mail it
understand.
back.
no, I get that, I just didn't realize that was always, I mean, I knew the disbursement was 2 months behind, you didn't know all the other stuff was.
Well, it's not 2 months behind. It's reporting for the period that we have the ability to report. and through
That's what I
December.
mean, that's.
The payment came in on January 27th. It was probably just deposited somewhere depending on weekends or whatever it might be. So it will show up either in your January report or it'll show up in your February report.
And it would be in the amount of $135,000?
No, it's an amount of $54,000 or
51,
51,000.
51,472.
Oh, so it comes
Thank
in as we use it, is that how it works? Because the 51,000 you're talking about is what we used for the Scala thing, correct? SCADA.
No, so the way grants, let me explain. I don't necessarily know if we can do this all in the public comment section, but the way grants work typically is you have like milestones you have to reach, so purchase the generator and you'll get, a little bit of that, and then starting to set things, and once those, then they'll release money to.
Oh, okay,
as you-
so that's just what I said, yeah, it comes in increments because it depends on as we spend it, right? Yeah.
Ish.
Okay, so I have one more, it's not a very long one, and to ask Hank, and it's not related to any of these, but I was looking at I'm curious to know about what I was looking at the transparency.com and all the salaries, and I went back over 12 years. And I want to know I know that I get the overtime part, and we have a lot of overtime. What is consistent of the other in the transparency.com?
I don't know anything about transparency.com. We don't report to transparency.com. We report to the state controller's office.
Well, this one has like your name and your salary, and then then overtime for our employees, and then it's other.
So there's no regulatory oversight for transparency.com that I'm aware of. And I don't know what they report.
So you don't know what what that column involves?
Like I said, transparency.com is a private organization. They have no controls. They're not regulated, to the best of my knowledge, by anyone. I don't know what they put in there.
Well, they have they included in our employee salary was under other.
Well, so what he's saying is-
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what he's saying is that he has no idea what that,
Well, he
Does
gives
it-
it to them because they say that.
no, he doesn't give it to them.
Well, where do they get the information?
They get it off the government, probably off the government website.
State control.
Out the,
So it
from the
comes
state.
from the
control.
state control?
Yeah,
So I should go to the state controller and ask them.
yes.
But you know what? I've been to the state controller and you know what they say? That they can't guarantee the information is correct because they get it from, the source is the company. So like I'm going in circles here. I still don't know.
So- Anyway, moving on, do we have director, anybody have any director's items or just information from? Oh, thanks, okay,
I have a question. Before you slam the hammer down.
Ron,
Yes,
make it quick,
I will.
will you?
In the cash disbursement register on December 3rd, Amazon Business, Supplies, SCADA, and Line System. What were we buying on the SCADA on Amazon?
About some wire and some fittings, some connections.
Why haven't we getting the regular fitting stuff we get?
Right, some of this stuff is a special order, and so you find it on Amazon, and we search for best prices, and so sometimes.
In the line system?
Wire and stuff like that, it's, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is more of an information item instead of a question Q&A. So if you have something to report out of a committee or something to report on or something for that nature, that would
Well,
be
the
fantastic.
only thing I have to say about that is there's an extreme amount of Amazon charges
A lot of people shop on Amazon.
by this.
Well, our company for water.
I do my company all the time.
Full of them.
So, all right.
I had the impression that you were gonna follow up on the finance manager. I thought you were gonna.
Yes, and I'll.
After
I'm
we're
gonna
after.
talk to you afterwards.
Oh, okay.
All right, and meeting adjourned.